Hi everyone. All right. This is the last part of the life story module. If you have been doing this from the beginning, I know it's been a lot of work, but it will be totally worth it when it's done. Today, I'm going to read questions that pertain to the period of life of you entering adulthood, age 19 and beyond. Again, this one has a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Many repeated from the previous age ranges. All right? But it may help you complete the why puzzle for you. All right. So here are the last of the questions. These are questions number 308 through 363. Okay, that's a lot. All right, let's get to it. All right, number 308. Again, this is, you're answering these for yourself from 19 years and older, okay? 308, what schooling or training did you receive after high school or after vocational technical school? Did this training prepare you for job entry? 309, what kinds of jobs have you held as an adult? What is the longest period you have worked in one job or for one employer? How did you like the occupation or career that you have chosen? Number 310, are you satisfied with your career development? Do you think you have advanced in your career or become somehow stuck? 311, when did you first make a commitment to a serious exclusive relationship? Meaning living together, engaged, married. Something beyond just boyfriend-girlfriend, all right? Or girlfriend-girlfriend, boyfriend-boyfriend. How did this first adult, after high school, adult relationship last? How did this relationship end? Number 312, what attracted you to your first serious adult partner? What was attractive about you to your partner? Number 313, what was the nature of other serious, committed relationships up to the present? Have you been divorced or remarried? How many marriages develop and end? Number 314, where have you lived during adulthood? When did you leave your parents' home? How long have you lived in each residence? Number 315, how often do you visit family members? How often do you call or write to them or email them? What is the nature of the relationships with family members? Number 316, if you are married, how often do you visit or have contact with your spouse's family members? How are your relations with your in-laws? Number 317, how often do you visit or have contact with friends from childhood or adolescence? How are your relationships with these friends? Number 318, did you attend college or a university? Did you attend graduate or professional school? Do you remember your college days? Did you graduate? Did you do well academically and socially? Number 319, did you attend vocational or technical school? Do you remember your experiences there? Did you graduate? Were you prepared to get a good job? Did you make friends at school? Number 320, did you enter military service? If so, what branch of the military? Do you remember your experiences while serving? Did you receive an honorable discharge? Did you receive special recognition? Did you make many friends in the military service? Were you prepared to go to work or school following military service? Number 321, did you enter an apprenticeship or an OJT, on the job training program? What did you get out of your training experience? Number 322, have you had any major health problems during adulthood? Did your health affect your participation in work or in your social activities? Number 323, have you experienced problems with drinking or drug use during adulthood? What were the consequences of your substance abuse? Number 324, have you experienced problems with binging or compulsive overeating during the adult years? What were the consequences of your eating disorder or your unhealthy relationship with food? Number 325, have you experienced problems with addictive or compulsive behaviors, like cleaning, organizing, working, or exercising to excess? What were the consequences for these compulsive behaviors? Number 326, have you experienced problems with saving, spending, or gambling? What were the consequences of pathological relationships with money? 327, have you experienced problems with addictions to sex or romance during adulthood? What were the consequences of your sex or love addictions? Number 328, have you experienced chronic pain? What were the effects of pain upon daily life activities? Number 329, have you been involved in a relationship with an alcoholic or an addict? What were the consequences of your codependency? Number 330, have you been troubled by any of the following? Depression, phobia, anxiety, panic attack, or sleep disturbance? Have you received any psychiatric diagnosis during your adult years? Have you been treated for any nervous or mental disease? Number 331, were you the victim of rape or sexual abuse during adulthood? What do you recall about the events? 332, were you the victim of emotional or physical abuse during your adult years? What do you recall about the events? Number 333, have you felt neglected or deprived during adulthood? Have you felt alone or alienated or isolated? When do you usually have these feelings? Number 334, have you been involved in any criminal behavior? Did you receive probation? Were you arrested or imprisoned? Have you been on parole? Number 335, have you been aggressive or abusive with family or community members? Number 336, have you used force or manipulation in order to have sexual relations with someone? 337, have you gotten along with females? How have you related to males? Have you reacted to authority figures? How have you reacted to authority figures such as doctors or law enforcement officers? Number 338, have you enjoyed close friendships during your adult years? What, if any, obstacles made friendships difficult to maintain? Number 339, have you been involved with clubs, organizations, or community groups? How did you feel about your involvement with these groups? Number 340, were you involved in church attendance, Bible study, or other religious activities? What has been the course of your spiritual development? Number 341, if you participated in a hobby, a sport, or a leisure activity, how do you feel about the role of leisure in your adult life? Number 342, what has been the typical frequency of sexual outlet in your marriages or committed relationships? Have you had trouble with sexual desire, arousal, or orgasm? Number 343, what has been the typical frequency of masturbation during your adult years? Have you experienced any concerns about your masturbatory fantasies or activities? Number 344, have you been involved in extramarital affairs? How did these sexual relationships end and start? Number 345, have you been involved in any unusual or dangerous sexual acts? Have you been involved in any shameful sexual activities or things that you would consider to be shameful? Number 346, were you involved in inappropriate touching, exposing, or viewing the genitals or sexual contacts with family members? Number 347, when did you decide to have children, if you have children? What are the names and ages of your children? How did the birth of a child affect you and your spouse, or you and your partner? Number 348, what is the nature of your parenting and your child rearing? How have you disciplined your children? How have you shown love and affection to your children? How have you shown support and respect? Number 349, if you have adult children, what are your relationships like with them? Have any of your children returned home after they became adults? How are you involved in the daily lives of your children? Number 350, do you have grandchildren? Do you have legal custody of a grandchild? How do you relate to your grandchildren? Number 351, have you experienced financial stability during adulthood? Have you worried about bills or financial demands? Number 352, have you felt productive or stagnant in work and love? Have you experienced what they call a midlife crisis, or a dramatic change in the way you viewed yourself and the world? Number 353, have you felt stuck or limited in opportunities because of your race, sex, ethnicity, or religion? Have you been a victim of prejudice or discrimination? Number 354, have you worried about aging and its effects on your physical or mental functioning? Number 355, have you lost a spouse, a child, or a family member due to death? Did you mourn the loss of a loved one? Number 356, have you received disability benefits due to a chronic illness or an accident? Did you lose a limb or any physical functioning during your adult years? Number 357, have you retired from the military or government service? Did you experience a loss of security or identity? Number 358, have you retired from a company or self-employment? How did retirement affect your self-image? Number 359, have you survived any natural disaster such as a hurricane? How often do you think of the catastrophe? Number 360, have you been a victim of crime? How often do you think about the event or the events? Number 361, have you experienced any other losses during adulthood? How have these experiences affected your adult development? Now, 362, again, this is a review. I know I have 363, but 362 is a review. Reviewing your questions, 308 to 361, what has your experience been of adulthood thus far? Have you experienced a sense of productivity and success? Have you felt accepted and loved? Has your life been troubled by a lack of identity and direction? Have you had low self-esteem? Have you become alienated from yourself or others? Have you retained vitality and curiosity about the world? Do you feel helpless or hopeless when you look at yourself, your family, your community, and the world? And now, drum roll. Could do a better drum roll. That was good. All right, 363, the last question. Having completed your life story up to the present, you may be able to identify some trends, cycles, or other patterns. What were the hardest or most difficult events to describe? What were the happiest life experiences that you remembered? Has your life seemed to get better, or has it seemed to get worse? Were there alternating periods of joy and sorrow, comfort and hardship? And have you left out or forgotten any major events that should be acknowledged in your life review? That was it. That was the last question for your life story. So, should you complete all of these questions, give yourself a hand and thank yourself for the gift that you have given you. Were there any things that you were surprised about that you remember? That's usually what I hear, is that people are like, I'd totally forgotten about that. All right. So think a lot about that last question, number 363, about the trends and the cycles and the patterns that may have been revealed in doing your life story. It will help you so much as we continue in the following modules, which is a great way to segue to tell you that in the next video, we will start back with regular module teaching. And it will be an introduction to the offense cycle and to relapse prevention. That's very exciting. I'm going to post all these. I'm going to post all these on Facebook and on Instagram. And until next time, please subscribe to this channel. Please share these videos. I accept comments, questions, criticism, but be nice. Be nice. Or maybe not so nice. But don't be abusive. All right. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Leave comments on this channel. And until next time, be well.